I think we're live. Has no one dropped out? We all here?
No, no, no.
We're all here.
Hello?
Good, good, good.
We
All
did
good?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think my stream's live yet.
Yeah, it might take a
It'll be
second to kick
delayed.
in.
Alright.
takes a minute,
I want to hit myself.
It's on. Ooh.
Hello, I guess,
Cool.
and
Cool.
welcome to.
Oh, yeah, there
Session
we go.
3.
Is it on for definite now?
Yep.
Normals.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Hello
Yeah,
and welcome
hello.
to Get Good episode 3.
GG.
Special guest.
GG, guys.
GG. Get
Special
Good.
guest.
John Carney.
Thank you for
Okay.
having me on, guys.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I feel like I should introduce myself. That's the plan, right?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Talk about yourself a bit.
should I get my screen up? I don't know how.
Yeah.
The screen.
Yeah, I
the
got it.
mic, image.
Mike's got
Don't
it.
you worry.
So, my name is John Carney, like Mike and Chris, but not Max. I'm a third year, and I'm a 3D guy, not a 2D guy, and to be a bit more specific, I'm mostly interested in environments. To be super specific, mostly kind of organic, naturey stuff.
Rocks.
Rocks, a lot of rocks. John-Carney.com
Rock.
is my website, but I'm going to have a new domain soon. But today, in my little segment when I'm talking about normals, I'll be showing off some of the rocks I made for my Alice in Wonderland project. To be specific, I'll be talking about getting height variance in your textures using masks generated from your normal maps, but I'll talk about that a little bit later.
Cool.
These other guys talk about normals first. But
Yeah.
that's me.
Awesome.
So, just in case there's any new listeners, I guess this show, Get Good, is like sort of we're just a bunch of students and we all sort of thought we'd like to improve ourselves and each other and anyone else. And at the same time, we can make a stream, just talk about what we're doing, talk about different sort of tutorials and things.
Yeah.
Pretty fun, I guess.
Just kind of a casual place where we can, try and explain stuff.
Yeah, it's good fun. Good fun. I guess similar to Level Up. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what we've been inspired by.
So
Who wants to start? Normal
Right.
knowledge.
I guess Mike, do you want to explain what normals are?
Yeah. Normals are basically, wait, let me start screen sharing. It's basically a way of creating more information on your model without actually having the geometry. And, oh, don't press that. And it's done that way through affecting the light on the model. And the easiest way to show that is through some of these examples. So Assassin's Creed, as you can see, this is the kind of topology you have, so there's not really much going on. But with a normal map, you get all the folds and such. So that's where like a lot of your ZBrush information will come in, your sculpting foils and such. You also create them through height maps, which we'll go into some detail about as well. Which is like white is high up and black is low. Yeah, these are just a few examples though.
I have my rock one as well.
Yeah, John's
the
got a
rock
really
one's
good
pretty-
example.
Pretty awesome one.
The first image, you have a potato, and then through my normal map that I've made in ZBrush and then baked it down, you get a lot more kind of surface detail. So what's important to remember if you're absolute no experience with normals, it's important to remember that the detail that you'll be adding to your model will always be kind of just surface detail. It'll never, it's the silhouette doesn't necessarily change.
Yeah.
You can't like expect to just
You can't create
replace
like
geometry with normal
you
maps.
can't create like arms and legs using a normal map.
Yeah, just kind of hint at detail that's not necessarily there in the model, because it'd be ridiculous to have like all this detail in geometry. So that's kind of the advantage of normal maps.
Mm.
They're a lot more efficient than kind of having the geometry there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely it. So there's other things with like normals as well. You've got things like vertex normals, so it's like maps, and vertex normals can help control how the sort of object shades around edges and stuff as well. So there's like lots of other tricks involved in it all. One of the main things with like making normals though, as John and Chris will show you is like baking down things. And what I'm going to be talking about today is more like height maps and stuff, where you can make some nice, really simple, beginner sort of level, basic normal maps that you can apply quite easily to like hard surface through programs like Crazy Bump, which I've just opened. And you know, I'll explain some of that sort of basic level stuff, and then they'll be going through more advanced things, because I thought I'd have a little go. I haven't spent long, but like I spent like the past couple of hours making a crate and stuff.
Sweet little crate, yeah.
And that's something that if there's any new people who are about to join the course, I'm pretty sure that might be your first one. Was it the first project they did last year? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm sure it will probably change as well. It seems to change every year. So
it seems to change a lot. But it used to be. I mean, last year it was an early project for last year's first years to do like a sci-fi crate, quite low poly, and then just make it up. But yeah, pretty good. I mean, so you've explained like what normals are. I mean, yeah, with normals it's the surface on a thing. So like here I've made an early height map, and I've applied it to my model, and you see you've got like these little dents in it and stuff. Yeah. And it's like this isn't there on the model; it's just flat. But something that sort of shows like these basic surface details that can come up. This is really rough at the moment. I really rushed this, but you see you get like these little bumps on the surface, and when I got that, it's turned up a lot because it's Crazy Bump and it's in max and it's not good, but you know it still shows you basically. Oh yeah, you've got these. It looks like a wobbly surface rather than like a. You see like on these inside bits, these don't have a height map on normal map, and they sort of shade really flat compared to how these show. So yeah, at the moment it's pretty good. And to do that, a height map is something you can make really easily in Photoshop. It's just a grayscale texture map. The gray middle value is like 127 or something. It's like the middle of the in between is like the flat ground. And then if you make anything darker, it will show up like as a deeper groove in your normal map, and anything lighter is gonna pop out. So you see here I've got like these lighter bits and then these darker bits.
So the lighter bits will be higher up. Yeah.
So if I open up my texture map in Crazy Bump, this is the default at the moment. This is like quite an old sort of program now. I would normally do it in something like XNormal or something, but I thought because it's got a nice preview here, it's quite easy and simple. It's something that and like people who haven't used normals before probably use as an early tool. To the height maps and stuff.
Sean just asked, what about people that don't have Crazy Bump?
What about people that don't have Crazy Bump? Well,
Crazy Bump is just one software. It's not actually the most popular anymore.
it's
to Material personally.
Yeah,
as an alternate.
To Material. XNormal is quite a good one especially good for baking, but you can make height maps in it as well and convert them to normal maps. And there's Mintex and things as well, but I wouldn't recommend Mintex.
Yeah. I wouldn't even recommend Crazy Bump, to be honest. I'd jump right in the deep end and just get familiar with XNormal as soon as you can.
Yeah,
it's really easy.
I mean, but like,
has been my favorite.
Yeah, definitely.
The advantage of XNormal is as well if you're working with like higher poly models, you can have that
handle it,
and it won't crash it. Like if you try and bake in 3ds Max and you've got like a 15 million poly mesh, it's going to crash Max. With XNormal, you can have a 3D viewer by default. So it's really good for handling super high poly stuff, which I think Chris will be showing you.
Yeah. Should I go for it now?
Yeah. I mean, Crazy Bump is like, you can download it for free anyway, the trial, and probably, sort something out there. But like, and then, so don't worry if you don't have it. There's loads of other things out there that you can do to use. So like with Crazy Bump, I mean, the default settings on the sliders are pretty bad. I'd always recommend like, you want this sort of curve between the large detail and the fine detail, because otherwise if the fine detail is too low and then the other bit, if it gets all wrong, it's kind of hard to show you because it's such a basic height map at the moment, but it doesn't sort of look right. You'll get like these massive wavy bits in the ground, in the texture, and then the fine details won't show up, or you might get too many fine details and it looks really, really noisy. So you kind of want to ease it up with sort of how you just play around the sliders till it looks good. The one nice thing that Crazy Bump does have is this nice preview box, to be honest, where you can sort of change how you want to look at your thing. You can even load in a mesh if you want, but I mean, most of the time you can just...
It's on all the computers in the labs as well. It's another thing to remember. In case you haven't used it.
Yeah. It's
available.
Labs computers pretty much have everything.
Yeah, so you can get it all on there anyway.
Someone's asked, can you make normals in Blender? I'm assuming, because I haven't really used Blender, but it's probably just like Max, where it does work with normals, but I don't think you can actually make them in that. You'd use...
You have to bake them down, maybe. I feel
Yeah,
like
you can bake and...
Yeah, I mean, I haven't used Blender in a while, to be honest, but yeah, in 3ds Max you can make normals by
Blender is the 3D software, not the actual material creator.
Yeah, Blender's the 3D software. That was what we're on about, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm guessing, yeah, you could probably bake normals like in Max, where you get a high poly model and a low poly, and then you bake it down, which Chris and John will show you in a bit.
I've used a bit of Blender, but I never did any baking with it. But I'd be surprised to find that it didn't have it there available.
I'm pretty sure it has everything there.
It's got a lot. Blender's really good because it's got loads and loads of options. It's really, really versatile tool.
Complete package, so I've been told.
Complete package. Blender is the complete package. And then, so I've got like, my height map, made it into a normal map. I can just save it out. Save it as like a target. And then in Max, should have changed it. Yeah, see, I've saved it without the surface details now. And you see, like, I've got like little bits showing, little labels and shapes that I've randomly carved out, but it's still there. It's still something. As they said earlier, you can't make major details with it. It's quite good for hard surface height map. But now, even now, some models are getting like, that's really, really high poly stuff, like high poly modeling data you see in this, which is really cool stuff. But yeah, I mean, do any of you want to take on the next bit now for baking?
Yeah, should we? Who wants to? I think the next one we're going to go on about is kind of high poly, low poly baking. Chris, did you want to?
Yeah, I've got a pair of boots here, and a pair of trousers. Although there's only one pair of trousers, why do we call them a pair?
Good question.
I do not know.
Good question.
Yeah, this is really high poly. Where's poly for it? Really, really high poly. This is the sculpt.
Yeah.
And I'm basically just going to bake it down. I'll show you how I do it. I'll do a boot actually, because that's easier.
Yep.
So, open the boot up on its own earlier. If I can find it. Okay, we've got a boot. Basically, if people don't know ZBrush, go and learn it. It's just, it is everything. John, what is ZBrush?
I would say, and I'm sure many agree with me, that it is the complete package.
It's the complete package.
It's all there. It's all there.
I can just do. Look at this.
You can do everything, yeah.
Look. It does everything. It renders. You can do turntables on it. It's genius. Say, if I want to remesh that, I can go like that. I can click one button, and it's remeshed eventually.
It's quite low poly.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Lower poly, anyway.
Yours doing it so quick. I'm doing the same thing on my screen right now, and it's just froze.
Well, it's because yours is much higher poly.
I'll put it lower down.
Your rock.
Got your beautiful rock coming along there.
This is Z Remesher, by the way, in case anyone wants to look it up.
Yeah, Z Remesher. There's other softwares that you can retopologize in. You can do it in Max as well.
Yeah.
But I haven't actually tried retopologizing in Max.
I have. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
3D Code's alright. 3D Code's pretty good.
3D Code's great. That's the one I've been using. It's so easy.
I mean, so we should say maybe in a non-disclaimer, ZBrush is awesome, but it's still good to learn how to model in modeling softwares as well, even though it's quickly becoming the main tool, I guess.
Just decide for yourself, experiment.
Yeah. Decide for yourself what your preferred workflow is. Yeah, John's got the knowledge. That's why we brought him in.
You can sculpt in 3ds Max. It's just really bad.
Yeah, it's just
I'm not on about sculpt. I'm on about modeling. But yeah, sculpt in ZBrush definitely, or Mudbox, I guess. You could.
Yeah, I know Tor Frick, who's a big 3D guy, uses that. Almost exclusively, I think.
Mudbox.
Yeah.
Ah,
I wouldn't
Yeah,
recommend.
all of Last of Us was in Mudbox.
yeah.
Okay,
Really?
so yeah.
See, ZBrush isn't everything, but it's
Hmm.
pretty good.
It unwraps at one click of a button as well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really recommend it because the seams are kind of crap.
All over the place. Yeah.
And a boot like that, that's just a pelt map in Max. That's easy.
Hmm.
But for the sake of this, I'm just going to click one button and unwrap it.
Yeah, just for that,
Break down.
because we're doing the side.
So all you need is the high poly one and the low poly one. The
So
low poly
two-
one needs to be
two-
unwrapped.
Yeah, two separate models. Low
You've got
poly.
two models.
Low poly will be unwrapped. High poly obviously won't. But it's, you know.
So I've got that thing.
It's
It's one mesh, and then that is another one.
Hmm.
And then this is X normal.
This is X normal.
It's as simple as this. On the right side, you've got high definition meshes. Right click. Hope your mouse turns back on. There we go. Add meshes. Boot high. And then the low one. Boot low. Baking options. What do you want to bake? You can do everything in this.
Hmm.
Ambient occlusion. Normal. Let's go for normal.
Obviously today, yeah. Normals.
Choose where you want to save it. And then just
And
hit
that's-
generate maps, and that's it.
It's easy as that.
Actually, I'll click it. I'll show you how quick it is. It's going to overwrite the other one.
So we got far.
Boom, normal map.
That's how fast it is.
There are loads of other options in it and stuff to get better results.
AI might take a little bit
I'm just
longer,
doing this roughly. And ambient occlusion takes a lot longer.
Yeah.
Because it's trying to figure out the shadows and like.
Yeah. My PC just started going, "Arr."
Here.
Doesn't like it.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff I can't do on my computer, so I have to wait for labs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still remeshing now. Even.
Hmm.
There's a really good CryEngine document on good X normal settings for getting kind of better results. You should probably include
yeah?
that in the description.
Find the link in
Awesome, yeah. Find us the
We
link.
must
We
find it.
can
through.
create a little link dump where we can put out a little helpful information.
Yeah. Are there any more questions in the chat, Mike? Do you know?
What's the chat's name? Oh, Kieran's here. He said hey.
I just said hey. Lovely.
Hey, Kieran.
Hey, Kieran.
Question, Kieran.
Okay, I've got my mesh now.
By the way, yeah, I mean, if there are any new listeners, Kieran is normally a regular, and
Oh yeah, we should have said that. Kieran's not here today.
Kieran's not here today.
Okay, Kieran's not here, guys.
Instead, 'cause Don is the new Kieran, I guess.
oh dear.
Maybe that will start some.
Oh guys, we just got something went wrong.
What went wrong?
A video call has ended because of authentication issues.
What?
Oh no! Oh
We're
no!
not. We're not real.
Are we not?
We're not live anymore.
I don't know. I'll keep watching.
I think we cut out. Oh no!
I'll open up the link. My voice just cracked, so it's probably a good thing that we're not live. Oh yeah, Josh Maboyo rocks.
Oh crap! We're still in it, aren't we?
Yeah, I think we're still in it.
We're still in A call. I just don't know if we're in.
We're not,
We're not live anymore, are we?
Not live. It's a shame I didn't get to do my. Oh man. Oh no, we're live.
We're fine. We're fine.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
still live? Oh, we're good. Okay.
I was watching it up until that point.
My thing just cut out then. Okay, so we're still good.
Okay, cool. Wow, so the audience just heard us going, "Are we live? Are we live?"
Are we live? Hey,
Yeah, so we didn't lose anything.
you see this rubbish seam here? Can you see it going along here?
Yeah.
Disgusting. That's a not Zero Mesher, UV Master from ZBrush. It puts it in a dodgy place.
Mm.
You get that.
But same as like how Z-Remesher for the low poly, that can have really dodgy topology as well. That's
Yeah.
another thing to note about the magical buttons, is that they don't give you the best results
Nope.
necessarily. So even ZBrush is good for the high poly, but can be burned.
Throw a normal map on, and that's it with a normal map.
So then you get the nice seams in the shoes.
So that's the mesh.
explain the different types of normal maps? Ask Kieran. I don't quite know what he means by that.
You what, Kieran? Oh, I can't. I can just read it, can't I?
Maybe he missed the height maps. I don't know. Or does he
Yeah.
mean-
Maybe you should have tuned in, Kieran.
Yeah, Kira.
Different kinds of normal maps.
Maybe you shouldn't go IKEA on a Sunday. That's where he's been.
Spoilers.
I suppose I could quickly mention what the vertex normals are now, I guess, seeing as I am...
Oh, he means tangent and world space normals.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair dues. That makes more sense, I guess.
The green one, he says.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to take this? I know a little bit, but I'm not an expert. I don't want to say
I don't know
something.
too much about it, to be honest.
I have no idea.
Kieran.
This
Where's
Kieran, you tell us.
is why we need Kira in the chat.
Well, there you go. I mean,
An example of the two up. And,
yeah. Tangent and world space. So, oh well. We'll probably figure that out. I mean, we're definitely not prepared for this week either. We should probably prepare more for every week.
Nah, it's just a casual thing.
Casual.
Okay, I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to give it a go with my explanation. Hopefully a graduate can jump in and maybe correct me at some point. I'm pretty sure that a tangent space normal map can have kind of lights go all around it, and it'll still show the surface detail on a normal map. I feel like it's the most common type of normal map. It's certainly the one that I know I and my peers use most. And then the world space one is it's got more colors on it, and it kind of bakes in light information, I think. So if you were to shine a light around it on a turntable, it wouldn't react the same as a tangent space normal map. So I'm pretty sure that's the difference. I don't necessarily know the advantages, other than if you don't want to bake in light information. Then
Okay.
Maybe an example would be like I don't know, just anything that wouldn't react to light in a scene. I guess you could use a world space on it. Yeah, sorry, Kieran. That's all I know.
That's a good description, I'd say. I guess seems to make sense.
I unwrap the shoe right in ZBrush.
Yeah. So I was just done with one click, so really easy.
Like,
Josh Warwick answered it in chat.
Don't do it in ZBrush, but you can with one click. Under Z plugin, hit unwrap.
Yeah, it won't be as good as
I've got this really
doing
dodgy
it yourself properly, but
look at that.
for the purpose of this, it's quick and easy.
Disgusting seam. There's another one there. Looks like a Buddha. Not bad, not bad.
Yeah, so that's high poly, low poly baking. In seconds, you've got all that information on it.
Yep.
Nice leather boot.
No, it's just that.
Yeah.
And you could put more normal maps over that, like
a really fine detailed one.
Yeah.
Like
the rough leather, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another important thing to mention. In Unreal, you can have multiple normal maps overlaying each other. So you can have a detailed normal map and just the standard one. So the standard one could be used to not obviously alter the silhouette, because we said earlier it can't do that. But that'll have all the kind of the big forms of the normal map showing. And then you could have one that, as you get closer, is a normal map for finer detail. So on my rocks, I had one. It kind of got grittier to the surface, but the actual original one just kind of shows the detail of little forms and stuff. You can do that in Unreal 4 as well, if that's what you're using. You might be able to do it in another way.
Yeah. So you can do it. Yeah, you can do it in Unreal. In 3ds Max, it does it. It's got it in just a material editor. But yeah, if you get putting it into like Engine, you can blend it in the material properties by. One way you can do it is you can multiply one of the normal maps by yellow, then add it to another one with the nodes. I mean, that's something. It's a way of doing it. I'm not sure if it's the best way.
The people in the chat want to know about editing normals in Photoshop. I guess I could cover that a little bit.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, go for it.
So if you watched the beginning of the stream, I talked about how during my Alice in Wonderland project, I did something I thought was quite cool with my rocks, where I did kind of texture variation in my albedo map, and that was determined by masks that I had generated with my normal map. So an example of this would be, this is the actual original PSD. So I would import my normal map that I'd got from X normal, baking down my high poly to a low poly, and then using select color range in Photoshop, I could select different colors. And it's important to remember that the colors on the normal map, kind of when you put it into an engine or like 3ds Max something, when it actually applies to the material, depending on the color, like that normal will trick the light in a certain way so it sticks out that way. It's hard to explain, but depending on the kind of tone of the color will depend like how far out it comes on the model or how indented it is. So that's what we're selecting with the color range tool. We're selecting like different levels of being away from the model or in the model, different levels of indent and stuff. And then using that, we can just like go over it in a fresh layer and then just paint it black or whatever, and then generate a mask from it. So it'll look like something like this, but you can do this for every different kind of color variation in the normal map. So you'll have a series of different masks, and then using these masks, you can overlay different textures for one model, and it'll kind of, the end result will be that there's a variance in texture on the model depending on how far it comes out because of the normal map. So I was going to make an example for you today, but I don't think I'm just going to be able to finish it in time, so I'm just going to have to run through my old one. So using these masks, I just import a bunch of different stone textures like this, and then overlay the different stone textures using these masks over each other, and then all the while kind of edit in the hue and saturation and things like that, and then it would just build up until eventually I'd have a whole new texture, and then just do it original images that I'd import it. It's not really obvious in Marmoset, but if I was to have it in Unreal, I might do it later if I have time. You can see as you kind of fly around the model that the model texture just basically just changes on how much it comes out or whether it's indented. So in some of the crevices, the texture is slightly different to on the outside.
Yeah.
And that just takes you to that kind of next level of realism, because that's how things.
It makes sense.
Yeah, that's how things are in real life. I mean, if you think about something that on an object that protrudes out the most, that's going to get scratched the most, or that's going to get the muddiest. The kind of crevices that don't get seen the most, that's where dirt's going to build up. They might be a bit darker, or you might be a bit lighter where they're kind of warm from the sun on the surface and stuff. So just by doing this, it's a good way to generate a texture quick for your model by using a bunch of different reference images, but not necessarily just stealing the reference images. You're kind of coming out with a new texture at the end of it. And
yeah, it'll be completely different to what you started with.
Yeah, and you kind of just get that next level of realism because your texture's changing depending on the form of the model.
And then you could also do it for your other maps, I guess, as well, like roughness and things. So you have,
absolutely.
You know,
Oh, that's genius,
moist cracks.
Yeah.
It's always important to remember when you
Nice moist cracks.
Things will change on the model depending on, just think about when you're making a texture, like how that model gets used in real life. Like look at your phone, it has scratches on the outside, a big crack on the back, because those are the bits that get rubbed the most and stuff like that. So, food for thought, guys. I'm not sure if that's what he meant when he said information on editing normals in Photoshop, but that's what you got.
Like
that makes sense. Yeah.
We might be able to talk about something else about editing normals in Photoshop. Does anyone else do anything interesting with normals in Photoshop?
In Photoshop, not so much in Photoshop. I mean, I guess like we were talking before. No, actually, no, that's not even Photoshop, so there's no point mentioning that. I was going to say like another throwback to Crazy Bump, actually. Yeah, you can have a mixer in there. I remember at the beginning of second year, John, as we were reminiscing before.
Groundbreaking stuff, guys. You can overlay 2 different normal maps in Crazy Bump. That's a neat little feature.
The mixer,
Photoshop as well.
right here, the normal map mixer. So I've got like a basic one here. If I did another height map, a second height map, that was like a I don't know, just a random thing.
Does anyone know any quick tips for cleaning up errors in normal maps? I've said play around with your edge padding in baking software. Does anyone know any other neat tips?
Not really. I kind of do it by hand.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the best way to do it, but
Sometimes it's just one of those jobs. You just got to get the magic wand out and.
Yeah, go in.
Sorry, Josh.
What was the question? Sorry, I wasn't.
Any of you guys know how to clean up errors in normal maps?
Errors in normal maps.
Yeah,
What?
play around with your settings as your
Do you
first
mean-
go-to thing.
Do you mean like when you're baking? If it's when you're baking, sometimes the cage can overlap, and that can cause problems. In XNormal, you can edit the cage. Totally forgotten where it is. I think it's the 3D viewer, isn't it? You can edit the cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in the 3D viewer, you can change the cages. So when you bake, the low poly projects like a cage around it, which is like a sort of area where it reads the information from the high poly, because the high poly will come out and in and stuff, because it's a higher poly model, and cage reads the information from that and turns it into the normal map. So like with like sometimes you can get errors where the cage overlaps other parts of geometry and things, and it gets a bit. Sometimes what you need to do, especially if you're doing say like high poly stuff, is sometimes you actually need to separate out the model completely. I did that on my turret project. I like separated out all the sections of it so there wouldn't be like a cage overlap issue. That might be something. That might be the reason that you're having some troubles. But if you mean like editing out other things, I guess remember there's a standard background sort of color, flat color. Say you're trying to change seams, you can use just find that flat color and you can fix things in that. Or what you could do is say you're in Max or something, you can actually use viewport canvas to fix your normals as well.
Yeah, you get rid of seams and stuff.
To get rid of seams,
It's helpful
where
with a lot of maps,
to
actually.
do that you go view, no it's not views, it's tools, isn't it? Viewport canvas, and you can load up, oh shit, is my computer gonna, oh, don't know what's going on here. Always breaks a little bit when you load up viewport canvas because it's not the best tool, I don't know. You can pick what map you want to edit. I'm going to pick bump map now on this thing, and I might want to, you can clone stamp things, where's the clone stamp? Yeah, so it's showing me my normal map now, and it's like, what do you want to change? What do you want to edit? I might be like, oh, I don't want this, whatever this is now, and I could clone stamp that out, just like that. That's probably the worst way of doing it. Probably could have just picked the color and painted because it's flat. But yeah, you get the idea. Like now, when I go back, that information won't be there on my height map. And that can be quite good for the seams of a character, say the back of the head. You can have some issues there, the back of the head and stuff. So, where, you might want to change that back of the neck, underside of the arms and stuff. You might want to clone stamp and fix things like that with the seams. I mean, hopefully you won't have too much trouble with that anyway. I mean, most of the time the seams are more of a problem, I guess, with the diffuse and stuff than the normals. Normals can be an issue with shading, I guess, yeah. So yeah, that's a way of fixing some errors. If it's like an error, yeah, where it's overlapping, I guess maybe take another bake that's lower. Yeah, you could do that. You could take another bake with a different cage size and then overlay the two, so you still keep some of the information from the higher cage, where in some areas where it might be better. Could do that. Could stitch some normals together, I guess.
Yeah. Hope that answers the question a little bit.
Hopefully, probably not.
So I'm curious, does everyone use XNormal here when it comes to baking? Has anyone got any other?
I use XNormal.
XNormal.
I used to use Max, yeah.
Yeah.
If I find I'm baking things down to a flat plane, like if I'm doing foliage like grass and stuff, I usually find it's easier just to set up a plane in Max and do projection.
Oh yeah,
Projection
Because I'm very familiar with
definitely
Max.
in Max, yeah. Because it's just, yeah, rather than worrying about it in XNormal. Yeah, that makes sense. Because the good thing about Max is it's quite easy to find the projection. I mean, it is.
Yeah,
just
I would hate to do a complex object though when it comes to baking in Max. I know Sam Stott, a guy I know, he did a jukebox as part of a personal project, and that was like a lot of different segments. I'm pretty sure he did that in Max, and it was quite a job.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's whatever you're comfortable with, I guess.
This is something that I was sent a while ago, and I just recently found it. while looking up stuff for this episode, which is share. So this was something I was kind of guilty of doing, kind of in first year and partly second year, was just throwing images into Say Crazy Bump or any other normal. Yeah. So this is a good explanation of why that is bad. I found, because it can look from a distance that, oh, it's fine, it looks nicer, but what you really need to do is create the height map, and this was also a really good way of explaining how the height map works. So kind of what Max has already said, but how the white is high and the black is low down, and the grey is like the middle ground where it's just flat. And so that's already looks so much nicer, because on this one, you see like this doesn't come out at all. It's just indents and scratches. Where on this one, it's actually a thing.
I know my experience with using photo to normals, which I do occasionally just as a kind of test if I'm just like trying to put a scene together, is like light information in a reference photo that you're trying to then like generate into a normal map will just massively throw off how the normal map comes out, because like obviously you can see what is a highlight in the image, like the computer doesn't realize that, and it'll just recognize it as being massively out. And so yeah, it's always important to think about light information when you are using photo reference.
Oh yeah, Mike's page that he found just now it's actually currently on the nice conclusion where it's talking about how height maps combine them with baking, so you can they don't just rely on baking like high polys, because otherwise you might spend ages making tiny surface detail changes.
Yeah, all these little details, which you can just do in a height map in seconds.
Yep, much quicker. You see, like on the shoe, it's got like where the stitching pattern has sort of got little bulges and stuff. They've done that in a height map way quicker, because you just get like soft round.
Kieran wanted to add that you can paint normal layers in Substance Painter, similar to how Max did it in the canvas painting thing in 3ds Max.
It's awesome.
You can do it in Canals as well, I think. And Graphite LJ wants to know what our favourite map is, but I'm not sure what he means by that.
Just like favourite.
He means like workflow. He might be.
Free for all on Rust.
Oh, like our favourite.
Bad pick.
I think he might just generally mean, what's your favourite map, guys? Like, what's your favourite map to use?
I like ambient occlusion.
Yeah, AO
is nice.
Lie.
AO is nice. I don't know.
I guess you have to use them all though, so it's it's hard. It's hard to say you have a favourite. I mean, because I like sculpting stuff and then baking down. I guess normal is.
They don't really stand quite well on the road. Actually,
no.
That, I like it when you're baking something and you've not even got the albedo on it yet. You've just got the bake on it.
Yeah,
and you can see all that surface detail. And then a lot of like I feel like sometimes it gets a little bit lost when you start doing kind of your albedo and stuff. I'm gonna say a roughness map. I like a well done roughness.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, roughness is.
Nice
we should probably do.
If you mean
an episode just on materials.
Favorite map between like baking and height maps, yeah, they're one and the same. You use them together. They're both They're both tools. Yeah. They're both ways.
A height map, you don't throw it onto a model in any way. You use that to create the normal map. That was something I got confused with in like.
Unless you're doing some tessellation and whatnot, then you can.
Displacement maps, but that's a different thing.
And just to play it safe, just in case he didn't mean that, what's your favourite COD 4 map, guys? I think mine is as well.
COD 4?
I've already told you.
I don't know.
I'm assuming we're talking about COD 4. I don't know what other first person.
The one with the plane, helicopter even.
Oh, what? On Modern Warfare 2? That was Terminal, wasn't it?
No, COD 4.
Oh, Terminal was nice.
The helicopter?
Yeah.
Oh, Crash.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember Crash.
Yeah, good one. Crash is a good map.
I got one other thing I suppose I could mention about vertex normals. I mean, what vertex normals are is like every face you sort of have in Max has got like these, I don't know how to describe it, these little normal points, and that's how it reads the sort of light and shades of the model and things. You see, I've like got into edit normals, and I could turn the display on. It's really long, so you could see. It looks like a hedgehog, and these are all showing off each vertices like how each face is going to be shaded. So like each face has 3 sides to it, so it's got 3 different verts pointing different ways, and that's why they're shaded different colors, just shaded differently. And what you might want to do is most in 3D programs, when you do this, it's like infinitely sharp point. And for low poly, sometimes it can be hard to change that, but nothing is infinitely sharp. Everything's rounded slightly. You look at a table, it's got like a slight curve to it and things. And that's one of the things normal maps and vertex normals, they work nicely together to sort of round off those edges and things. So you see I've made like this cube here, and you see it's got this, it's got this nice rounded edge at the top and things. And that's the same sort of chamfer that I used on this, or even here, you see I did it a little bit. So you see it's got like a curving thing, because what I've done is I've unified the normals into a certain direction. On this, what normally each thing is like that, you see. So they're all going off in a different direction, pointing off different ways to create the corner. And I've unified them on each face. So all the ones connected to this face are pointing out that way. So they're just going to, point it out that way. And that means on these chamfers you get a really nice curve. That's because I wanted this to be a nice little rounded box. So I've got this nice little rounded box now, which is really.
The normals are really helpful as well when it comes to foliage as well. I've noticed that recently doing foliage projects. It's really important to.
Yeah, carry on. Yeah, that's right. With trees and stuff to shade it, you can get things like slide normal thief and stuff to mean that you can easily conform it. But obviously you've got to remember it's still got the geometry of the old one. So it's not going to actually round it off. It's just going to give some of that appearance. So you see here, it looks nice and rounded here. It looks rounded shape, but then you look there, it's this horrible no poly thing. But that's something that you can't be avoided. It's something that you just got to learn to live with, and you can get a nice little rounded sci-fi crate like I got there. It's a shame I didn't get time to texture this and put this in the engine. I was kind of lazy today. Also, another really good application for that, which I've been using this week, is say you are doing you've got like a flat plane that you want to show off your model in, and then you want to put parallax textures of mountains or something around that area, or I don't know, you might need, sometimes when you're making an environment you need to go really dirt cheap, and you might put things in the background on planes. We actually did this in our off the map. Yeah, if I could load up pictures of that, maybe that might be a good thing to do. Off the map. Yeah, we did.
Kieran wants to get the modifier download. I'm assuming that's for.
Oh yeah.
Is that one?
Normal thief.
Normal thief down.
Yeah, normal thief. Yeah.
If you could get a modifier, that'd be good. Yeah, it's better than the.
What's the legality of me uploading a file? It's a free file.
Assume it's fine.
But anyway, yeah, what you can do with planes, normally when you've got 2 planes intersecting, is you've got this horrible seam here where, it's never going to match up because the way the vertex normals are working is different. What you can do, which is that matched up for a second there, but only a specific angle, you see. So on this one, what I've done is I've changed the normals, so the ones at the bottom face up, so it creates this curve in the way it shades. Now I could have like another, line there, I guess, another set of vertices and an edge, and then I could have those out, because at the moment it's curving all the way up to the top. But if I quickly change this to editable poly, and then I could change it again a bit. Yeah, so at the moment it's reset the normals, but that's fine. Just edit normals. Yeah, so it's reset the normals to how they'd normally be. Just select them, pull them up. Working? Yeah, it's working. Sometimes they can be a bit weird when you're trying to edit them. And yeah, you see that's got a bit of a weird shader thing going on there, but it's still something it's better than, it looks more like a horizon. That blends really well with the ground. So when I've got my, planar of whatever in the background, like I say you had a mountain or a hill or something just on an alpha in the far background of a scene, it wouldn't just have this horrible seam when it connects to the other plane, which can happen, and some people did that and still do that. So it's just something that you can avoid really easily if you just do that. Just edit the vertex normals. So that's, I guess, the guide to vertex normals. Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Oh, Max, can you tell me about blending normal maps in UE4.
UE4.
Yeah.
I did it earlier, didn't I?
Do it again.
I don't think you did.
Up Unreal. I should probably.
I've got it open now.
Right. All you do is you get two.
Yeah.
You got two normals, right?
Yeah.
So you want them together. So one's like a major detail, and one's like a minor detail, whatever.
Yep. Major.
Multiply the first normal by yellow.
Here we go.
To the other normal.
Would you believe, guys?
And it works. I don't know how it works. It does work, though. It's a
Just
little
have faith
trick I
in the
found
yellow.
online.
Man. Just trust the
Doesn't
colour.
make any sense. Got that?
Trust the colour yellow.
Oh, what's the yellow value again? I've bloody forgotten it. Yeah, I know.
Oh, my connection's gone, I think.
Yes. Oh, still here?
What's
So
the
Graphite
yellow value?
LJ wants to see some of our off-the-mat work, so I said we'll include some links in the description.
What is UE4 even? How does it crash like that?
I tried opening Unreal and my internet went crazy, so yeah, I went multiply it by yellow, the first one, and then add it to the other normal. Yellow is what? 1, 1 on RNG, isn't it? Yeah, that's yellow. Yeah, that's yellow. Yeah, so you've added a constant there.
Yeah,
multiplying it. Open up the drop down so you can see what's happening to the textures as well on the multiply and the add. So you can see that when it previews, it's going to look
It's doing some crazy things.
It's ridiculous, but if you add the other normal in, it sort of figures it out. Adding's when it's like adds the values of both together and things, and it figures it all out really well actually.
And we plug it into normals.
Open up the add as well, so you can so they can see that it does work. Ta-da! See, got normal again.
So that's multiplying a normal on top of a normal.
That can be really good. Say if you're doing water effects.
Oh yeah.
Like flowing water. Take a waterfall. The water will be flowing, but you still get like the effects of normal water as it's falling and stuff. So what you could do is you can overlay the different water normals in different ways to get this, and with the different panners in different directions, and you get this really nice effect of water. Really good.
Actually, is more surface detail. If I get rid of that, this is the normal map on its own.
Yeah.
And it does that. Which is like a cobble, I think. And then we put the other one in. Which is, I think that's grass. Yeah, that's grass. But it's a lot finer of a normal map. So when you add it to that one, you go crazy with the surface detail. You zoom right in. You got a lot more. You've got atoms, let's call it that. I like to call it.
Your atoms. You
can see the atoms.
See the atoms.
That could be good if you were doing like pores on like skin.
Yeah, you can blend
Like
all
like
of these, by the way. Like the base colour, you could blend that with.
Well, that might be pretty intense just for a character.
It is. It doesn't. It blows up.
Yeah.
Let's put the colour on. That's not tiling the same.
Oh, just a side note as well, actually, while you're doing that. In Max, when you make normal maps and apply them to a material, please make sure that you actually turn on that you can see the material.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Common error.
Yeah, it's a really common error.
First year in a nutshell for me.
Yeah, and you're like, why can't you see the normal maps? Make sure this little checker up here for your material. Click and hold, and you make sure it's the blue one, and then double check just in your scene that is displaying realistic materials with maps, just to double check. And also for the bitmap, for the normals, don't just plug it straight into bump. There is an actual normal bump node.
Oh guys, they're being rude. This guy in chat, Graphite LJ, who was asking some beginner questions, is actually Lewis Jones all along. So
Lewis Jones.
Lewis.
Dun, dun, dun.
Graphite LJ is a lame username as well.
Lewis Jones. How did you find that out?
I think Sean dropped him in. I don't know who Bruce Wayne is.
Does that mean, wait, so is there like a group talking about what's going on and planning to...
I don't know, but
Thank you, Jack.
when Graphite LJ was asking about off the map and normal maps, it was...
Oh yeah, you're in our group.
Lewis is in our group. Lewis, you were a good man and off the group. Okay, credit him. When I said putting our maps, putting ours in the back of our environment earlier, I'll say that was painted by Lewis Jones, concept eyes.
Pro tip from Kieran that's nothing to do with normals, but if you're a first year and you're doing renders, don't render with a black background.
Yeah, don't just hit F5 and render it.
Yeah, it's rubbish.
We should do an episode on rendering.
We could, maybe. Wait, you're a guest, you can't judge what we do, John.
Hey, he's a paying watcher. I think. Okay, right, you pay us.
If you lose me, you lose half your audience.
The other half's just me.
Yeah, that's
so
why it's crazy. It's ridiculous that we brought you on. Half our audience. We've lost half our audience this week by bringing John on.
Damn it.
But remember, guys, I mean, we still, I'm not sure, Chris and Mike, how you feel about this, but we still haven't received much work posted to Crit during our sessions. It's part of what it's about.
Yeah, you can totally send stuff over.
Send stuff over, and we'll always be ready and welcoming to make little changes, do paint overs, or explain what's going on and things. So.
Oh wait, it makes so much sense. LJ is his initials, but you spell it out. That's so stupid. Why would you do that?
He's also plugging his channel.
Can we kick him?
I'm enjoying it.
Good old Lewis. What's he like?
Funniest chat's been.
Made a cool floor.
Joke's on you, you got flag, Lewis.
Wow. That's gone far.
I'm gonna turn this the floor into water.
Yeah, turn the floor into water.
I can't open up Unreal because
Hannah. Make water.
Do they have?
Actually, I'll just delete everything.
Emissives in maps? Do they do that?
I wonder what the graphite's for though. I think it's because he draws a lot, maybe.
Graphite. What's his name? LJ Graphite.
No, it's Graphite LJ.
Graphite LJ. He likes pencils. Maybe he likes them too much.
I'm gonna go on his Twitch and then jump in his stream and.
Oh yeah, he does a Twitch.
Troll the comments. So.
Is that it? Is it that he's? Is this war?
There we go, guys. Look, realistic water.
Oh, it's beautiful.
In the field. I'll put a panel on it, just going one way around. That's like the simplest way you could ever do water.
Yeah.
0.3. It's really fast still.
I mean, yeah.
It's huge.
Oh yeah, the lovely pano of them, the normals.
Kieran wants to know, can we talk a little bit about moving normal maps?
What, like this?
So,
yeah, I think
boom!
Yeah, that's what Chris has been doing. He's been making some water.
You can just pan normal maps over things, and then if you want to say, like, have a different effects going on with the multiply, with being able to overlay normals, you can make it more, because at the moment that's flowing very strangely for water.
It's very obvious.
It's very obvious. It's all flowing perfectly uniform in one direction, but you might want to overlay another water effect, maybe not streaky because it's not being, it's like more like the wave forms in a different direction. I tend to do it not even with the same. Is that like quite a streaky one? Yeah, I tend to do it like you might have a streakier water because that's like the flow lines almost, and you could have like just general waves going over. In fact, that is something you can do. You can do a vertex paint.
Don't use a rock normal texture either.
Which is that what you've done? Well, it could be a mudslide.
Yeah, good fun times.
If you change the material to translucent, you can pop in some refraction as well,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
makes it go bubbly. And if I put a base colour in,
You probably need to put something into the refraction there. It's like 1.3, isn't it, for water?
I need some colour first, because I can't actually see anything. Got some weird blue going on.
Add the refraction.
Yeah.
Water doesn't refract at 0. Yeah, it's 1.3, I think, for water. Or was that glass? I don't know. But
And
yeah,
wow,
no,
look at the material, it's going all wibbly. Look at that.
Wibbly wobbly now.
And then you want opacity on as well.
Yes.
A little bit. Oh, it's gone. It's quite low. Apply that, see what it does. We might see through the floor. Yeah, we will.
Oh, there it goes.
There you go.
Slightly see through.
Looks awesome, though.
But it's getting like that first effect of what a moving normal map could look like.
That was just with a rock normal map, and
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
pretty simple. We're probably coming up to time soon.
I was
Yeah,
going to
we
say,
are.
should we
Yeah.
touch on... I know we talked a little bit about height maps at the beginning of the episode. I know you can do a lot of cool things with height maps in Unreal 4. Maybe you guys want to do a different thing on it. A whole thing in itself.
Unreal.
Off the top of my head, material blending using
Using
height
height
maps.
maps.
That's some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. I can't open up Unreal, so I can't say anything about that at the moment. I guess
Probably
like
talk about it for an hour anyways. So.
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
again with height maps, it's almost similar to sort of what you were talking about, John, with like the normal maps, because you can read different information of heights. You can apply and blend different materials and textures in the material.
A good example
in Unreal, you can do it.
of using it when vertex and painting though is I think would be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, with vertex painting you can do it quite nicely, because then you can assign it to different heights. You can also do it for well, it's slightly different, but you can make in terrain painting. It's almost unrelated actually.
Yeah, you can have a couple
have
landscape material
different
and,
heights.
Yeah, have the height map.
That's pretty.
I think it's
related,
called material masking as well.
Yeah.
I do have an example of that in UE4, but it won't open very fast.
Yeah. Same, yeah, because we're streaming. I should have opened up Unreal before the stream, but
I would have liked to have gone through my whole process with the rock, but my rock is still remeshing.
Man, that's been a while.
Yeah, 40
Look
minutes.
at those details, though.
yeah.
I've actually lost the load because I kept
Let's
dropping
just
them.
admire the rock.
So why don't you just talk through what you were gonna do?
What I would have done. Oh, yeah, the bar moved. So at the moment, I'm trying to apply surface noise to this rock in ZBrush. It needs to be quite high poly to do that though, and I'm just trying to get it to a higher poly where the surface noise will apply and not make it go all bubbly. Because that surface noise, when it gets baked down on the normal map, is that's all the variance that you'll see on the normal map example I had in my Photoshop. All these kind of tiny little crevices, and then smooth bits, and then crevices, and kind of chip bits are created using that surface noise, and that'll give you the variation in your masks. That's how you get like little grainy bits in your masks and stuff. And that's what will really sell it when you kind of blending your materials together. When you just have these layers that are just put in tiny little bits of rock in places and stuff. Little sort of things. And then, yeah, like I said, if I would have got it all done in time, I would have got some kind of fresh reference images from Google. I would have just searched for like 4K rock textures or something like that, and then I would have gone through the process of just kind of overlaying them using these masks and stuff. That would have been it, really. It probably would have took up a bigger chunk of time.
That's
yeah. With Unreal as well, something to remember is different softwares read normal maps in different ways. How normal maps are made is like a red light, a blue light, and a green light coming at the geometry from different angles to create the information. And sometimes, say with like, if you're made a normal map at X normal, then you take it into Unreal, you got to flip the green channel.
Yeah, it depends on the software, like what the default render is or something. It depends on whether it's like in a DirectX or OpenGL. Something to do with that.
Yeah. So it's That's something else
no
to
map's looking
keep in
funny,
mind.
then UE4 flip the green channel.
Yeah,
Really challenging.
you'll be like, oh, it's pointed in the different direction to what I thought it was and stuff.
Sometimes it'll create seams as well. That's another kind
Yeah.
of giveaway that something's not right. There's a really obvious.
The themes will come
Like
up.
it'll light darker on one side of the seam and then be super bright on the other.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's about it.
I think that's it. We don't have any plans for next week's episode yet, do we?
No.
No. If anyone's
Maybe Substance.
maybe Substance Painter.
Substance Paint is brilliant.
Yes, might have some fun with that. We need to get some good outro music, I think. I think that's what we're missing.
Did it.
But, like to say thank you to John for coming on.
Cheers, Jod.
Alright, thank you for having me,
Cheers,
guys.
boy.
I finally made it. I text my mum and everything. Like, oh, I'm on the Get Good podcast.
Yeah, we only asked you today, so it was awesome you got so much ready to share.
Yeah.
Well,
more
you're lucky
than
that I
us,
don't have a
even.
life, so I wasn't going to do anything else today. So.
So,
I
yeah.
made a rock as well. This has been productive for me. I made a rock
Yeah.
today. I have no use for it now.
You've
I'm
increased
literally going to
your
click
speed,
X.
haven't you? I mean, it used to take a week to make a rocket, and
I'm getting quick, man. I'm getting quick.
it was like 6 months, 6 weeks of making rocks.
Okay. Alright, that was a bit of a dick.
Alright.
Can I leave the audience with a bit of a question?
Go for it.
I want to know, it's completely unrelated to game, I want to know what the audience thinks a ghoul is. Be prepared. Next week's comments. I want to see your answers for what you think a ghoul is.
What do you think a ghoul is?
Don't Google it either, don't cheat. I want to know, when you say ghoul, what comes in your head.
I know the answer.
Max knows the end.
I know the answer. I'll mediate with John, but me and John disagree over what the answer is.
I think we're on the same page, but yeah, we won't give it away. Answers next week, guys.
Answers next week.
Yeah, good quiz.
Okay, thank you everyone.
See ya.
See you next week.
Cheers.
Bye.
GG.